With the prices of vehicles skyrocketing in the past few years, buying a car that doesn't look or feel like a boring and underwhelming generic econobox SUV is becoming increasingly hard. Even premium crossovers such as Mercedes, Audi, and BMW models feel and look cheap and underwhelming compared to their counterparts. But what if we told you that there are still a slew of models that will not only make you look wealthy, but feel like it too, putting to shame various more expensive offerings for a fraction of the price? Yes, there still are inspiringly good and high-quality vehicles that won't cost you an arm and a leg. And today we've coupled the top 6 cheap SUVs that make you look rich this year. Number 6. Ford Bronco. One of the best vehicles you can buy if you want to look well off is the Ford Bronco, especially in its lower-end trims. Now, we're not talking about the base model, which looks properly poverty spec, but something like the Big Ben would be more than sufficient, as it will come nicely equipped, will definitely look the part, and won't break the bank. The aforementioned Big Ben will set you back some 42 grand, which isn't dirt cheap, but you will be getting an enormous amount of value for money that will also look extremely good. Heck, a Mazda CX70, which is significantly smaller and less practical than it, will cost you just a couple of grand less. Plus, it is quite a rational proposition overall, as you will be getting the extremely well-proven 2.3 EcoBoost, and you will have enormous utility with the vehicle as, thanks to its body-on-frame construction and standard 4x4 drive, you'll be able to tow quite a lot and be able to go off-roading without any issues. That said, if this is still too much money for you, don't worry, as the next entry will be one of the cheapest of its respective class. Number 5. Buick Vista. Now, here's a properly dirt cheap vehicle that you might fancy. The Buick Vista is one of the most affordable vehicles in its segment, starting from less than $24,000. And yet, by looking at it, you wouldn't be able to tell that, as it does look very fancy and actually premium. This is largely because even the entry-level model comes with a chrome grille, nice alloy wheels, and a nice barrage of colors you can choose from the get-go. Plus, just look at how it looks. It's a coupe crossover with a very reserved yet sharp front and rear end, which is a real breath of fresh air compared to its over-designed competitors that seem to be compensating for the fact that they're extremely cheap. In addition to that, the interior is also very nice styling-wise. Sure, it's not the best in terms of build quality, but hey, it's a sub-25K crossover. It's like 5K less than the RAV4 it competes against, and it looks considerably more expensive than it. Overall, if you're looking for a cheap way to look like you drive an expensive-looking vehicle, a Buick Vista is just about the best thing you can buy. Number 4. Hyundai Santa Fe. The Hyundai Santa Fe has the fortune of being a lookalike of the new Land Rover Defender, which is practically the Jeep Wrangler for rich people, which is quite convenient, as the Santa Fe is practically half of the Defender's price. The same thing is true for its inside, as it is evident that the Santa Fe has taken some inspiration from the Defender on the inside. Plus, even if people recognize it's not a Defender, the boldness of the Santa Fe will still keep them stuck in place. And since it's still a pretty new vehicle on the market and people still don't know what it is, it will remain a very interesting sight for them, thanks to its boldly ostentatious presentation. Plus, even the entry-level Santa Fe SE looks extremely nice, as you get large, blacked-out alloy wheels, full LED front, and a very nice interior for less than $35,000. Now sure, the Santa Fe is a bit too flashy and too much in your face, but then again, so are all the midsize SUVs of the premium segment. Heck, just look at the BMW X5. It's literally the definition of over-designed. But you might not associate wealth with being ostentatious, which is why you need to worry not, as there is an alternative to the Santa Fe that will give you a more of a stealth wealth kind of aura. Number 3. Toyota Crown Signia. If you're looking for a way to feel wealthy and not poke everybody's eyes out, the Crown Signia is probably the best thing to get. First of all, you will be getting by far the best looking and most well-built interior for the money, rivaled only by the Mazda CX70. You'll also get by far the most reliable powertrain on the market, as the Crown Signia comes equipped with the same 2.5-liter as the RAV4, and it is also a hybrid as standard. Not to mention that even the entry-level model comes with 19-inch alloys, a fully leather interior with bespoke stitching, and a leather-wrapped dashboard and a very premium-esque dash design. Plus, it just looks expensive in a very non-flashy way. You'll certainly draw attention wherever you go, but not in a yuppie kind of way, but in a more old-money form. It truly rivals the mid-sized premium brands in every possible way, despite starting from $44,000. That said, the eCVT gearbox combined with the 4-cylinder engine can feel rough on higher RPM, which does kind of deter from the premium feel and look you might be looking for. If that's the case, for a few mpg less, we might have a solution for you. Number 2. Mazda CX70. The CX70 shares many of its attributes with the Crown Signia, except for the fact that it is drastically more driver-oriented and significantly more refined in terms of its powertrain. The CX70 comes with a 3.3-liter inline-six engine as standard, combined with a 6-speed automatic engine, giving a very old-school feel behind the wheel in a positive manner. Plus, this is also a hybrid as standard, and a hybrid combined with a Skyactiv engine, which means that despite being a larger engine, we'll have pretty good MPG. Not as good as the Crown Signia, but close. Oh, and we forgot to mention that despite being AWD, the CX70 is an RWD-biased vehicle, which means that it will be exceptionally nice to drive. So much so that we prefer it to the BMW X5, which, might we remind you, is a far more expensive vehicle. Plus, take a good hard look and tell us, can you see a bit of Jaguar there? It just looks, well, refined and so simply bold that it feels so effortless with its presentation. Plus, the cabin of the CX70 leaves nothing to be desired. You get an extremely well-built cabin, exceptionally nice seats, and the technology in it just feels very aristocratic, with the swivel-based infotainment feeling just so commanding and effortless. In fact, aristocratic is exactly the word we'd use to describe the CX70. And since it starts from $40,000, getting an aristocratic vehicle is surely a good opportunity, isn't it? That said, one might ask, is there a way not just to look moderately wealthy, but filthy rich without breaking the bank? Oh yes, yes there is. Number 1. Genesis GV80. Yes, we know, with its 55-plus grand entry-level price tag, the GV80 isn't exactly cheap per se. However, this is the same deal as with the CX70. However, where the CX70 feels like a premium vehicle for a non-premium price tag, the GV80 feels like an ultra-luxury vehicle while costing quite a bit less than its premium counterparts. To put it simply, the Genesis GV80 simply outshines the entirety of its competition in every possible way. It's vastly more special than the extremely loud and obnoxious BMW X5, looks much more expensive than the Mercedes-Benz GLE, and its subtle yet elegant design laughs in the face of the Audi Q7's extremely dull exterior. Heck, put it next to the Porsche Cayenne and it'll make it look like a cheap, plasticky Econobox. On the inside, you can expect an even better ordeal, as the GV80 offers an interior that could easily rival a Bentley Bentayga in terms of style and design, while also offering 90% of its quality, beating its premium counterparts to a pulp. Speaking of the Bentayga, look at how similar they look on the outside. Except that, in our opinion, the GV80 looks even better, as its front design manages to be bolder and more mature than the almost 5 times more expensive Bentayga. Not to mention that, because Genesis is Hyundai's brand, you can expect it to be exceptionally reliable and have a warranty that will probably outlive your finance on the vehicle. So, if you have money for a premium mid-size SUV, but would prefer to get something more special, more reliable, better looking, and considerably better built, save yourself a couple of grand and buy the GV80. As not only is it the most expensive looking vehicle of the bunch, it's also the most rational purchase of them all.